Man, they really should start showing this movie in high schools from now on. Detroit does fail to capture every single facet of the Detroit riots of 1967. But what it does do is this. It shows us the riots through the points of view of certain people who all end up in this hotel, and through a series of misunderstandings, the Michigan Army National Guard and Detroit PD basically get ordered to investigate shots fired at this hotel. As history puts it, several men are gunned down in cold blood while others are beaten to near death. This movie attempts to answer the question, what happened at that hotel that night? What's up, guys? It's your boy Odie here to tell you to go watch this movie. I'll see you next time. Nah, I'm just joking. Don't click away and stay. I have more to say. Man, what to say about Detroit? Not the city, the movie. Like I mentioned earlier, the movie wasn't able to cover everything there is to cover about the events that occurred that summer of 1967. But it does a great job at establishing the setting and giving you enough information with that beautifully animated intro. And with that, director Catherine Bigelow, who's mostly known for The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, decides to tell an incredible story of struggle and oppression, of how crazy police brutality was, and arguably still is. People are calling this movie anti-police and harmful to the black community and unnecessary, and I don't really see why that is. This movie does paint the police as villainous and bad, but it also explains why. It's one thing to say fuck the police and the police is unfair, but it's important to show why that is the case. And this movie does a good job of showing what the police are supposed to do, what a good cop looks like, as opposed to how the police actually behave, and how bad police brutality was and still is. So let's start off with what I liked. This movie's a lot deeper than I thought. There's the build-up, the introduction to the characters and all that stuff. The second act is the riots and then the events that take place in the hotel. And the third act focuses on the fallout of these events, and how a horrific event like this can have such widespread and life-ruining repercussions for the ones involved and everyone around them. I just didn't expect the movie to go that extra step and show us the fallout of the riots. Another good thing was the acting. Everyone in this movie killed it. My man John Boyega gives another awesome performance. Like, this dude is a really good actor. Anthony Mackie was great. Algie Smith gave a stellar performance. And man, this dude right here, Will Poulter, or whatever, however you pronounce that, this piece of garbage who plays Officer Krause, he should just always play a villain in movies. I mean, look at them damn eyebrows. You know who he reminds me of? Tell me he don't look like him. Tell me he don't look like that dude right there. Look at me right now and tell me he don't look like that. It's scary crazy how relevant this movie is today. Me being a black man living in America, I've experienced firsthand harassment from the police. I've been discriminated against. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like to be judged by the color of my skin, to be profiled by the police, the ones who protect and serve. I know what that feels like. I'm grateful that I didn't have to endure the struggles my elders had to the extent that they had to, but I feel that history is trying to repeat itself. We as black folks thought that the worst was behind us. It's starting to look like the fight is only just beginning. Police were able to get away with things back in the day because, back then their defense was, you can't prove it. Like, nobody can prove it. You can't prove nothing. In 2017, we have cameras everywhere. Even on the officers themselves. They got body cams and shit. And we still can't get justice for nothing. How we collectively feel about the police can be summed up in one scene in this movie. So, a character is essentially running from the police. He's running for his life. He's been beaten. He's running from the ones who did this to him. Just when he thinks he's safe, when he's in the clear, he runs into two different officers, two different cops. This character drops to his knees. His face displays not only fear, but also acceptance. Like, he thinks he is going to die in this moment. This is the end for him. In the end of horror movies, when the sole survivor makes it out and makes it to safety to the police, everything's supposed to be okay, right? Like, you survived the monster, and now the police will rescue you. What if the police are the monsters? Like, who do you turn to then? Who's supposed to rescue you? That is sad. At that moment, that specific scene in that movie, it sums up exactly how we feel about the police. They're not here to rescue us. Whenever we turn to them, it always seems like it backfires. We don't feel protected, and this character absolutely felt that. He embodied exactly how we feel. Before going into this situation, before this movie started, he was naive to the situation. He thought police was good, and life is life. After this situation, his whole world is upside down now. He doesn't look at the cops the same way. Those people who are supposed to protect him aren't protecting him. That's something, man. And if you are a person of color, then you know how this feels. All the stories going around about police brutality and unwarranted murders of innocent black men, it's disheartening, dude. It shouldn't be like this. And I'm still waiting for the day that this is no longer a problem. On to the bad. This really isn't a negative, but it's worth mentioning. Certain characters' relationships aren't made very clear from the beginning, which confused me a little bit. There are two girls that I didn't really know what their relationship to the rest of the group was, which again caused a little confusion. But maybe that's just me being stupid. I don't know. Detroit needs to be watched by everyone. It's well written, well acted, and incredibly thought provoking. The timing of this movie couldn't have been more perfect. That's why I'm giving Detroit a 4 out of 5. And it's definitely worth seeing in theaters. So, my question for today is, what is your favorite movie that deals with racism? One of my favorites is American History X. It's an awesome movie. Why don't you comment your answer down below? And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button? And if you want to see more reviews like this one, hit that subscribe button as well. I'll see you guys next time.